Hello everyone, Stalwart Howenger come back at you with some more Black Myth Wukong. So, last time we cleared out the first area of the game, and I think, I'm not actually entirely certain, if it'll pick me back up on the menu screen than I was at before. I'm not sure we'll get to too much actually questing today. There was some information I wanted to look up last time based about the Kasaya and how it relates to the story of Journey to the West. And Ava suggests that I actually look it up and talk about it in the next episode. I'm here to see where it's going to pick us back up. If it's going to pick us back up on the menu screen that that I ended in, it's actually just quit right from that menu. So we'll see if it just loads me in there or if it'll just boot me to the next area. We'll have to see. I'll wait till we find out before I do my little story spiel. It takes a while to load. Yeah, this shows that there are different gourd types. I haven't encountered any besides the starting one. I wonder if I just missed them. It's entirely possible. I'm curious. Oh no, it just starts me right here. Interesting. But I'm actually going to do a little bit of a story time. So I looked up, and it turns out that this whole area is in reference to something that is from Journey to the West. It's actually very early on in Journey to the West. I think if at this point Tripitaka had only met Sun, I could be wrong on that, but he pretty much was almost just starting his journey, and I believe this is actually a depiction of Tripitaka right there. So he went to this monastery, which is the Black Wind Temple, to rest, and the monk, this one, Elder Jinshin, I should have looked that up beforehand, um, was the leading monk at this temple. And the video didn't do a great job showing, but it wasn't given to, but the Kasaya, which is the cloth that goes over the shoulder on a Buddhist monk and kind of represents their lingering connection to the physical world, the Kasaya, that the monk, the one that turned into the big gold guy, actually tried to steal it from Tripitaka and tried to murder him, in fact. So that is what it meant by the moment of greed. Because, yeah, that was something that was a bit confusing. That the video didn't do a great job of actually explaining, because it almost looks like it was just the Kasaya was just given to him as a gift before it burned down the temple. So that's something cool. I'm gonna go through the rest of these, and there's another little story time I want to go through because it's just interesting and something I do know about the story even beforehand. But I'll let the little spirit guy talk about these.
A fine guardian for Guan Yin he could have been, yet he came back here to daydream immortality. Sadly, he had the greed, but lacked the pluck. He could fool his followers, but not himself. His destiny was sealed the moment he donned that band.
Just talking about the bear, how he was supposed to be like a guardian for Guan Yin, which I think is supposed to be another Buddha. Again, I need to do a little bit more research on how Buddhism actually works. But I know there are a couple different characters that are represented as Buddhas, because it's Buddha is basically just a human who's attained enlightenment, and that can be anyone. So there's actually multiple. If I'm understanding correctly, I could be wrong on this. I'm not an expert.
Which deities do most abound upon the earth? The Keepers, surely. Though humble in rank, nothing in the mortal world escapes their eyes. You'd be wise not to spurn their kind, for who knows what powers stand behind them.
It's pretty fair. He was very helpful. He gave me 2 spells. I mean, can't knock that.
In his last life, the monk was Jin Chanzi. the second disciple to Buddha in the West. Yet his arrogance led him to disregard the Dharma teachings, and as a result, the Buddha cast him down to the mortal realm.
Hmm.
He was destined to face 81 trials throughout his journey. The fire for that Kasaya was merely the 11th.
Wow. So is that a different character? Or is that also this guy? Oh, weird. I think that's all of the little extra bits listed here. If I go to the inventory, I can actually pick, and I want to say these are the only abilities you can't reset, because I've gone through these a couple times. I haven't been able to reset them. Um, Considerably increases focus gained upon consecutive successful light attack hits. Upon successful hit with Unveiling Strike, the cooldown for the spell is massively reduced. Considerably increased critical hit damage. I normally love critical hit builds, but the abilities that increase critical hit are very minimal. Like you increase it 1% at a time, which is not reliable. I'm assuming at some point you can get it pretty high, but I'm just gonna get this. It's just the best all-around option. Just more focus means more big hits, so there you go. And yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no way to reset that. Just, that is what it is now. Which I'm fine with that. Not anymore. But yeah, there is actually another story I want to go over, which is... Oh, might as well go to... Yeah. Because each one of these are representing the 6 senses of the sage, which I'm assuming are like his... like the 5 senses and then some mystical sense. But this has to do with his eyes. A glimpse reveals the foe's might. A talent tilts to an unfair fight. Identifies the Yagwais that bear spirit. So it also has a passive effect. So now if there's a Yagwai that has like one of those blue bits on it, it will just identify it for me, which is pretty helpful. I'm pretty sure this is in reference to Wukong's magical eyesight, which he gained from a very interesting method. He gained it after being captured in his fight with Erlang Shen, who claimed that he beat Wukong, but that's not true. Erlang Shen was fighting Wukong, and he was probably one of the best people to fight Wukong, as they were kind of in a standstill. But then Lao Tzu came in, and he trapped Wukong in a diamond net. And at that point in the story, Wukong was pretty much indestructible. He was immortal from practicing Taoism. He was immortal from having his name removed from the Book of Death. He had eaten heavenly peaches, celestial wine, and pills of longevity. So he was multitudes of immortality. So they literally couldn't execute him. So they thought, hey, we'll just melt the immortality out of him. They'll distill it. So they throw him in a giant kiln, basically, and I believe they burn him with the fires of heaven for 8 days. I think it's 8 days. To literally try to melt the immortality out of him. And when they open the giant kiln, it turns out he's perfectly fine. And he actually has magic eyes now that can, I believe, see good and evil, or some sort of extra sight, which is, I think, what is represented here. With his double-eyed bird. Double-pupiled bird, perhaps. Which is a little distressing, but still pretty cool. So yeah, that's where Wukong got his magic eyes. They tried to melt immortality out of him, and it gave him a new superpower. Weird. Anyway, let's move on to the next chapter. I'm wondering if I actually have enough silk to complete the armor. I know that there's actually a shop I can go to in the previous area before the hidden boss fight, and hopefully I can get the armor kit because I love this armor effect because it goes with one of my favorite spells. And it's a shame that its armor score is so low compared to a lot of the others. I don't know if there's any way to change that or if that's just what I have to deal with. Oh, I am feeling a bit better, by the way. I'm not coughing as much, so the video shouldn't skip as much as the last set did. I'm still a little under the weather. Dude can play.
I reckon I got an idea why you've come here, my friend.
Very, very odd voice.
Haste makes waste. I'll lend you a hand.
Why does he sound like
Watch your
Irish?
step, eh? Get more shots and you'll be high and dry.
Bro can play though. I'm actually going to go back to the past area. Open up my map. Yes. And go here, Grand Chamber. I think I can buy some more silk here. And I hope that'll be enough to actually complete this armor set, because I really do like this armor set, plus it gives me some extra armor, which is always nice. I do find it interesting how his, like, singing voice is definitely not the same as his speaking voice. Because his speaking voice sounds like Irish, which is definitely an interesting choice. Definitely an interesting one. I believe he's just supposed to be our guide for the next area. Some headless spirit. Oh, there's also another weapon option. I don't have enough Yagoi cores or will. Critical hit chance. And extra attack. Nice. But I do want to go... Is there another armor set? There is. This one also requires silk. I would focus on the cloud step, which I don't really want to use. So even though this one has better armor, I'm going to stick with the Evil Crusher. So I much more prefer the deal additional damage to enemies upon crashing their mobilization. The extra damage is nice. So I need more silk. I think Looked up and I can buy some... I can buy 2 silk. I think that'll be enough. So craft armor. Extra burn resistance. Oh, I need more will. But luckily, I can sell some gold pieces that I have. I have quite a few of these. There we go. And with that, I'll be able to craft better armor. There we go. And I'll reduce the cooldown. I might stick with this armor set. We'll just have to see. It also just looks cool. Looks cool as heck. So now... Oh, also, I have like 2 whole sparks to use, I think. I have 1 spark. I'm going to focus on foundation. Makes each initial dodge more agile and flexible. Not entirely certain what that means, but I need it in order to get this upgrade, which is very helpful. I can keep combos going even after dodging. Alright, now that I have that squared off, I can go to... Check not obtained yet. Oh right, I have to travel. Yellow Wind Ridge. Outside the village. So I can just travel to the start of the area. Didn't get a lot of questing done, but, you know, I got some storytelling out of the way, which is always fun. Now I get to explore the area at least a little bit, to show you guys some of the enemies here. Might try to fight the frog. And hey, I got the new armor set. I might try to stick with this one just because I really like the effects on it. But we'll have to see. I do wish you could transfer effects like upward or upgrade defenses. Maybe that's an option later on. Maybe I'll meet a character who can like reforge my armor to make it so that I can get the effects with new stuff. Who knows? What I do know is that there's an archer over there I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to do so by... Okay, you hit me. No lag. Bad rat. Bad. Yeah, so those archers are real pain, I have to say. Oh. Why is it lagging so much? Probably doesn't lag quite that much. Oh, what you gonna do? Yeah, whacked. Get out of here, rat. It looks like I'm having just enough time to pick up an item from over here. Then I'll have to cut it off. This is something I'm going to be using for my healing potion. Yeah, Lambaru. Because this one has a much cooler healing effect. But we'll just have to catch that next time. So, see you then.